More than 5 years ago, reports emerged citing Edwards Air Force Base tests, results of experiments in which F-16s were placed in air-to-air combat against F-35s to assess the ability of the much-discussed fifth-generation fighter to dogfight. Citing certain findings from an actual test, multiple news reports said results showed an F-16 actually outperformed an F-35 in a dogfight. The reports inspired a large amount of discussion, debate, and uproar regarding the F-35. However, as can often be the case, key contextual elements of the discussion were often missed in writings about the circumstance and the actual aircraft used in 2015. Some ask the question, can the F-35 truly dogfight? Does it need to be able to dogfight? The answers to these questions are in fact quite clear. Yes, it can dogfight, but no, it might not need to very often given the range, accuracy, and fidelity of its sensors and onboard computer processing. However, what about the actual merits of the question itself? How well can the F-35 dogfight? Would it truly be outperformed by an F-16? An Air Force pilot, who was there at the time, says the answer is clear: no. While the F-35 certainly can dogfight, a fact that is quite well known, there is also much to be said about the added reality that, due to its sensor suite and computing technology, it may wind up being very unlikely that an F-35 will actually have to dogfight. It may be much more likely that an F-35 will kill enemies without itself being seen. In a statement to me in 2015, the Pentagon's Joint Program Office says the reports on the F-35 F-16 encounter left out many crucial facts. The media report on the F-35 and F-16 flight does not tell the entire story. The F-35 involved was F-2, which is an F-35 designed for flight sciences testing or flying qualities of the aircraft. It is not equipped with a number of items that make today's production F-35s fifth-generation fighters. The F-35 Joint Program Office said in a written statement as far back as 2015. In particular, the Joint Program Office statement explained that the F-2 test aircraft did not have the mission system software designed to utilize the aircraft's next-generation sensors. The F-35 office also said the F-2 test aircraft was not equipped with the F-35's special stealth coating designed to make the aircraft invisible to enemy radar. The Joint Program Office statement also said the AF-2 is not equipped with the weapons or software that allow the F-35 pilot to turn, aim a weapon with the helmet, and fire at an enemy without having to point the airplane at its target. Finally, the F-35 office said simulated combat scenarios have shown that 4 F-35s have won encounters when pitted against a 4-ship of F-16s. The F-35s won each of those encounters because of its sensors, weapons, and stealth technology, the statement said. What is significant about these 2015 statements from the JPO is that they were from 6 years ago, and the F-35 has continued to evolve substantially since then, a factor that only reinforces their point at the time. Years after these initial questions surfaced and the JPO responded, F-35 pilots such as Wilson, who have flown 4th and 5th generation F-35s for years, reflected in great detail on how an F-35 compares with an F-16 and F/A-18 when it comes to aerial combat. Tony Brick Wilson, former F/A-18 pilot and current Chief of Fighter Flight Operations, F-35 test pilot, explained it this way. I'm coming from the F/A-18 community. That aircraft has excellent high airway maneuvering capability. So one of the things that we would always try to achieve was to force the fighter jet to go in the direction that would be advantageous. By comparison, the F-16 is a great weight fighter. It has a lot of high thrust for the weight. Imagine going around a racetrack, except in this case, you want to come around the racetrack faster so you can get behind the other racer and shoot them. The F-16 has fantastic thrust-weight capability. What the F-35 brings to the pilot is actually a combination of both. It has fantastic high airway capability, but doesn't sacrifice thrust to weight. The thrust-to-weight ratio that I get out of the F-35 is fantastic. So now I have multiple options when I find myself in a dogfight situation, depending on what the threat is that I'm dealing with. I can choose which fight is going to best suit me against that opponent.